Top of it, top of it, top of it. It's your boy Coach One Stack tapping in, man, with a very interesting video for you guys tonight, man. You know, this is gonna be my last one for the day. Right? Now, if you're not familiar with Wendy Williams, right, and Kevin Hunter, this video is about how Sharina Hudson, who is Kevin Hunter's mistress, right, and Kevin Hunter is Wendy Williams' ex-husband, and Sharina Hudson is the person that Kevin Hunter had cheated on her with for decades and even had a child on her. You dig what I'm saying? And this is about how Sharina Hudson left Kevin Hunter after Wendy Williams was granted all her money back in court. Can you dig what I'm saying? See, once she got that money back, hey man, he was out of there. So check this out. Before I get into the video, hey man, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and smash that notification bell. And let's get on with the video, because you know I got something to show you, and I gotta give you the backstory, guys. You know, Kevin Hunter was Wendy Williams' husband, AKA / manager, for years. For years, Kevin Hunter had been cheating on her with Sharina Hudson. Now, here's where it gets funny. When Wendy Williams went under her guardianship after her show went off the air in 2022, you know, they were divorced. They were divorced before that, because Kevin Hunter, he'd been cheating, having babies on her, getting caught with trannies, all that stuff. But Wendy Williams had to pay him $250,000 a month for alimony. For alimony, right? I guess for the rest of their life. So for the last few years, you know, since that money has been under a guardianship at Wells Fargo, Wendy Williams money. So now the guardianship comes because it has been proven that Wendy Williams could not, you know, legally take care of herself. They're trying to say she had dementia and all that kind of stuff. So now she lost access to her money. So when she lost access to her money, Kevin Hunter and Sharina, see, their lifestyle can't be funded anymore. See, all the mansions they had start going down. Kevin Hunter start having to sell his vehicles, so on and so forth. But here's what happened lately. If you have noticed in the news, Kevin Hunter, which is Wendy Williams' ex-husband, has been trying to get her into court to win her guardianship back, to prove that she is competent to have her money. And it's crazy to see them two together, because after the way that he did her for years, you know, Wendy Williams was actually okay with it, which makes me think that she is a little crazy. But here's what happened, y'all. Man, hey, she won her money back in court, and guess what? Since she ain't getting no more money, since they can't get no more money, and now they gotta sell their mansions. You know, Sharina Hudson even had an organic food brand that was brought out from Wendy Williams' money. She's been funding their lifestyle for years. Well, now that he ain't got no more money, guess what? Sharina Hudson then dumped his broke ass. You dig? Because he was trying to live up off of Wendy. See, karma is a cold piece of work, man. And for a lot of y'all youngsters around here, man, Wendy Williams is an OG. Wendy Williams is the one that back in the 90s, she exposed what we call the homo thugs. And guess what? Diddy was so powerful back then in the 90s, man, he had her switch to a whole different radio station because she was talking about it. But Kevin Hunter, man, hey, he's a slime ball, and he's all about the money. And guess what, man? He ain't getting nothing back. So let's see what TMZ had to say, people. But this is going to get interesting. Follow me, guys. Let's go.
In a long time, in a case that has been filled, and looks at Wendy and says, you know, you had a great career. Your career is over. It is never coming back. You're done. Why would a judge...
What if your entire empire of betrayal crumbled overnight? That's the brutal reality slamming Kevin Hunter and longtime mistress Sharina Hudson as Wendy Williams' fortune slips through their fingers forever. For over a decade, they lived like royalty, allegedly plotting to bankroll their future on the back of a woman they both left broken. But when Wendy's talk show ended in 2022 and a court-ordered guardianship locked down her accounts, the cash pipeline dried up almost instantly. Now, insiders say Kevin's been hit with a financial collapse so severe, he's unloading luxury assets and ducking lawsuits, while Sharina, once flaunting designer bags and private brunches, is reportedly back to hustling just to survive.
When it happened, you know, the banks froze everything up. He was not in a position to pay $10,000 a month for an apartment.
This wasn't a random downfall. Sources say this was no accident, but a calculated grab that backfired spectacularly. Kevin had been receiving a reported $250,000 per month from Wendy post-divorce, a sum that evaporated as soon as the guardianship took effect. By 2023, legal documents confirmed what many already suspected. The money was gone, and Kevin was out of options. One judge outright denied his attempt to restart the alimony, declaring that Wendy was under no obligation to continue payments under the terms of their settlement.
Why are guys with this $50 iced out watch suddenly pulling girls out of their seats every single time
With his legal efforts flopping, Kevin then pivoted to an aggressive lawsuit, this time demanding $250 million in damages, not just from Wendy, but from her guardian and even Wells Fargo, alleging a massive conspiracy to cut him off.
I mean, I take accountability for my actions, for what's obvious out there, obviously obvious.
But here's where things get even more twisted. While Wendy was battling health issues, being shuttled between facilities, and losing access to her own life, Kevin and Sharina were allegedly trying to build theirs with her money. Sharina Hudson, the same woman Kevin kept hidden for over a decade while publicly managing Wendy's career, reportedly gave birth to his daughter in 2019. Insiders familiar with the timeline say the affair had been active for over 15 years, overlapping with Wendy's most vulnerable periods, including hospitalizations and rehab. And it wasn't just a fling. Kevin reportedly purchased properties for Sharina, funded her lifestyle, and helped launch her vegan chef brand using Wendy's resources. Then came the collapse. With the talk show off the air and Wendy placed under guardianship, the monthly checks stopped. Kevin claimed in court that he was unable to pay basic bills, including his homeowners association dues, car insurance, and credit card minimums. UBS Bank filed suit against him in mid-2024 for over $20,000 in unpaid debt. Around the same time, public records showed he was pawning off high-end vehicles and listing the Florida home he once shared with Sharina for over $1.2 million. But despite the luxury price tag, neighbors say the property had fallen into disrepair. Another sign the cash was gone. Meanwhile, Sharina didn't just disappear. According to sources close to the situation, she deactivated social media accounts and relocated, possibly back to live with family, after being overwhelmed by the fallout. Gone were the days of Instagram glamour shots and designer promotions. Instead, she resurfaced later in 2025, pushing real estate services, wellness products, and small business consulting. One source described it bluntly: she went from Gucci to gut cleanses. The same insiders say Kevin and Sharina began drifting apart during this time, with tensions reportedly flaring over finances and future plans. Some claim Kevin stopped contributing to expenses for their daughter, sparking further strain in the relationship.
With the August, I've always spoken to her, and she's always wanted me to spend her money.
Public opinion hasn't been kind. Social media users widely labeled the unraveling of Kevin and Sharina's lifestyle as karma. For years, fans of Wendy had suspected the affair, but it wasn't until the Lifetime documentary aired in early 2024 that the full extent of the betrayal became undeniable. Viewers watched Wendy struggle with confusion, speech difficulty, and limited mobility, while the people closest to her were allegedly negotiating brand deals, scheduling film crews, and selling access. Sharina's name wasn't mentioned in the doc, but her absence from Kevin's side during his legal crusades didn't go unnoticed. Even as Kevin tried to reframe himself as Wendy's protector, claiming in a federal lawsuit that he was exposing financial abuse within the guardianship, most weren't buying it. Legal experts noted that he had no standing to sue on Wendy's behalf, especially after their divorce and with no current legal role in her affairs. Still, the filing made headlines, dragging the names of court-appointed officials, medical professionals, and banking institutions into a storm of accusations. And in a twist that shocked even longtime observers, some of those allegations began aligning with behind-the-scenes reports from Wendy's own family and friends.
The judge in the guardianship read Alex Finney the Riot Act, threatened her, and said, "You're talking," making an accusation that she's talking to the media, and if you continue doing it, I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to do that to you. There is a gag order in this case. I can tell you that the judge has scared a lot of people in this.
According to court records and interviews, Wendy's guardianship has raised eyebrows since its inception. Though it began after Wells Fargo froze her accounts in 2022, citing suspicious withdrawals and fears of exploitation, the arrangement quickly escalated. By 2024, Wendy's niece, sister, and son were all publicly expressing concerns about being shut out. Her guardian, attorney Sabrina Morrissey, allegedly blocked family visits and sold off Wendy's Manhattan apartment. And while Wendy was reportedly begging to leave the assisted living facility, calling it a dump, and accusing staff of over-medicating her, Kevin was suing the same system for cutting off the funds he'd once lived on. The irony couldn't be clearer. The very structure put in place to prevent Wendy's exploitation may have indirectly revealed just how many people had a financial stake in keeping her quiet. Kevin's lawsuit, whether sincere or strategic, pulled back the curtain on who's been getting paid, who's been locked out, and who might be next. And while Sharina's name has stayed mostly out of the court filings, insiders claim she's still connected behind the scenes, especially when it comes to the few remaining assets tied to Kevin's name.
And by the way, the judge doesn't know what she's talking about. I mean,
By the way, there are a lot of
people
people clamoring for Wendy
Yeah.
to actually get back on the air and to have a show again.
When did this judge become Roger Ebert? I mean, I'm serious. Wendy Williams is a hot commodity right now. I can tell you from our Tubi documentary, it attracted a lot of attention. She's done interviews with major outlets, people.
But if the downfall of Kevin and Sharina feels like a full circle moment, it might only be the beginning. Because as investigators start to dig deeper into the details of Wendy's guardianship, examining sealed documents, insider testimonies, and financial trails, new whispers are emerging. Allegations of money mismanagement, backdoor dealings, and unauthorized sales of Wendy's personal belongings have begun circulating. Sources familiar with the ongoing court motions suggest that a previously unknown trust account may have been accessed without Wendy's approval, potentially implicating multiple parties in a broader financial scheme. And if that's true, then Kevin and Sharina might not be the only ones who are counting on Wendy's silence to keep their world from collapsing. But behind the messy headlines and public meltdowns lies something even darker. Because while Kevin Hunter and Sharina Hudson scramble to pick up the pieces, the guardianship meant to protect Wendy Williams is raising alarms of its own. Multiple sources close to the case now claim that the real beneficiary of this arrangement isn't Wendy. It's the woman paid to control her. Sabrina Morrissey, the court-appointed guardian, is reportedly earning hundreds of dollars an hour, all billed directly to Wendy's estate. That means every court appearance, every legal document, every denied family visit, someone's getting paid. And the longer the guardianship stays in place, the longer the money flows. Kevin's federal lawsuit demanding $250 million may sound outrageous on paper, but in his filings, he laid out a chilling theory that this wasn't a medical decision, it was a setup.
And I can't figure out, why is there a gag order in this case that Wendy can't talk about her circumstances? Why is the judge doing it?
That aside,
There is something that's even way bigger.
He alleged that a network of high-powered lawyers, banks, and guardians colluded to freeze Wendy's assets, remove her access, and divide the spoils, while leaving people like him, who once lived off her income, cut off. It's a stunning accusation.
Hi, my name is Dawn, and I run a company called Jotful. We make one-of-a-kind websites just like...
And though his motives are clearly tangled with self-interest, parts of his case align with real concerns raised by Wendy's own family. Several close relatives have spoken out about being shut out of Wendy's life for months at a time. Her niece Alex Finney and her sister Wanda both claim...
Now, as you see, guys, this is what happens, man, when you're dealing with money and family. You have somebody who has taken control over a guardianship, who distributes her money, who's getting paid hundreds of dollars an hour. It cut her husband off, who's getting $250,000 a month. His side chick now left him because they don't have access to Wendy Williams' money. This is how your family does, you people. And guys, you guys leave in the comments if you think Wendy Williams, and you heard a judge say that, told Wendy Williams that your career is over. Guys, if you think that the judge was wrong for telling Wendy Williams that her career was over, leave it in the comments. Guys, leave in the comments and tell me how you feel about Wendy Williams having to pay her trifling ass ex-husband that cheated on her for years and had a baby on her and used her money to fund his or her relationship. If you think that is foul, leave that in the comments below, guys. And guys, remember to like, subscribe to the channel, man, and hit that notification bell. And you know the rest, guys. Be blessed, never stress, get plenty of rest, and never get finessed. And stay out of trouble and stay out of guardianships. Have a blessed day.